Hello, gentlemen. To those of you quietly listening to this video right now, I am a woman, and I am going to speak straight to your face today. For the past 15 years, I have observed hundreds of marriages up close. I have witnessed far too many decent men collapse and fall apart. They did not die from bullets. They did not die from illness or disease. They died slowly inside their very own living rooms over time. They died with a forced smile painted on their lips every single morning. Today, I am going to pull that velvet curtain all the way down. I am going to say the thing that no wife ever dares to say out loud. Stop trying to save the dying marriage you are stuck inside of, gentlemen, because the very hunger to be a hero is what is killing you slowly. That silent sacrifice of yours is what makes your wife look down on you. The more you kneel and sacrifice, the colder the bed beside you becomes. Men over 45 years old, listen to me very carefully right now. This is not the sweet-sounding advice you hear on daytime talk shows. This is the raw, naked truth about modern American marriage today. I am not going to wrap it up in pretty paper to make it easier to swallow. Society shouts the same familiar mantra day and night without stopping. If the wife is happy, the whole family is happy, and life is bright. The experts on Oprah tell you that you must communicate so much more. They tell you to be empathetic, to yield, to listen for hours on end. I am telling you plainly, they are lying to your face right now. The problem does not lie in any communication deficit on your part. The problem is that you are stuck inside a toxic loop of behavior. I call it the salvation spiral, and it is a deeply tragic pattern. You continuously clean up the wreckage that your wife creates around you. She has come to assume that this is your duty given by nature itself. A silent resentment seeps into every single night between the sheets. It destroys whatever physical and emotional connection still remains. You are no longer a husband to be loved by your wife anymore. You have been demoted into a tool for handling problems and emergencies. A vacuum cleaner has never once held any sexual appeal to anyone. A wrench has never once made any human being feel pure desire. Before I go any deeper, I need to make one important note very clear. This video is not meant for cases of serious abuse in any form. If there is violence in the home, please call a hotline right away. If there is substance abuse, please go and find a doctor this week. I am speaking to the decent, responsible men out there listening tonight. The men who are trying sincerely but who are stuck inside a dead end. The men who have stopped looking into the mirror for a very long time. Now I am going to expose 5 types of self-destructive hero gentlemen. 5 masks that you are putting on your face every single day. Take a look and see which of these groups you currently belong to. The first type, I call him the debt underwriter for the entire household. You take on extra shifts. You work overtime until you are completely drained. For what reason? In order to pay off your wife's credit card balances. She shops without any restraint on Amazon, late, every single night. She burns money on Botox, on filler injections, on designer handbags, and you quietly pull money out of your 401k retirement account. You sacrifice your own dreams of a comfortable retirement down the road. And what do you receive in return for all of this constant effort? Not a single word of thanks, not one genuine hug at the end of the day. Only indifference and a brand new set of larger demands waiting for you. The second type is the parenting firefighter inside the family home. Your wife insists on raising the kids with no real discipline at all. She reads those books about the gentle parenting movement online, and then your 15-year-old son starts rebelling in serious ways. The school calls to complain about his behavior every single week. In the end, you have to be the one who steps in and restores order. You raise your voice, you give punishments, you tighten up the discipline. Your wife cries and calls you a tyrant in front of the entire family. The kids turn around and resent the very man who actually rescued them. You become the villain inside the very home that you yourself built. The third type is the shield against the toxic friend circle around her. You warned your wife about her gossipy best friend a long time ago. The friend who just finished her 3rd divorce and goes clubbing every night. Your wife brushed it off, accused you of being overly controlling at home. She said you were imposing. She said you were a chauvinist with old views. Then the disaster hit, exactly the way you had predicted it would. Your wife gets dragged through Facebook posts, betrayed in shameless ways. At that point, who steps in to defend her honor and her reputation? It is you, with the personal credibility you built across an entire lifetime. Then 6 months later, she finds herself a brand new group of friends. Even worse than the previous group, 10 times worse to be exact. The fourth type is the reluctant diet doctor running the household. You try to build a healthy lifestyle for the entire family at home. You buy the treadmill. You purchase the organic groceries every week. Your wife refuses to exercise. She refuses to eat any green vegetables. She chooses the donuts. She chooses a glass of red wine every evening. She gains weight steadily and blames it on giving birth long ago, even though your youngest child is already 20 years old now. When diabetes hits, when high blood pressure arrives, who takes care of it? You drive her to the doctor. You cook the porridge. You check her blood sugar. You are caring for a person who refuses to care about herself at all. The fifth type is the sponsor of endless fantasy projects in the home. Your wife announces that she wants to start a business at 50 years old. She wants to open a podcast channel about spiritual healing for women, or sell handmade scented candles on Etsy at outrageous high prices. You already know in your gut it will fail right from the very beginning, but you still pull out the wallet. You still invest about $10,000. You spend entire weekends building a website for her new venture. 6 months later, the project collapses, and nobody is the least bit surprised. You are once again the one who comforts her, wipes her tears, soothes her pain, and the next month, she has a brand new dream waiting in the wings. So why are you falling into this trap over and over again, gentlemen? Why does an intelligent man voluntarily turn himself into a puppet at home? Science has a very clear answer for this particular phenomenon, gentlemen. It is the mechanism that psychologists refer to as the hero instinct, translated roughly as the deep biological need programmed into your DNA. Men are born with the need to feel valuable and meaningful in life. You need to be needed by your wife, respected and admired by her. But in the modern American marriage, this instinct has been twisted around. It transforms into a toxic poison with the clinical name of codependency. That is the pathological codependence between two adult human beings. You become addicted to the feeling of being needed by your wife each day, and she becomes addicted to being rescued without taking any responsibility. This is a closed loop with no exit door anywhere in sight, gentlemen. There is a psychological framework called the Reactance theory in research. It was proposed by psychologist Jack Brame back in 1966. This theory points to a harsh and paradoxical truth about human nature. When you offer the most correct and helpful piece of advice possible, your wife's brain processes that very advice as a threat to her freedom, a threat to her own personal freedom to make her own choices in life. Her natural reflex is to do the exact opposite of what you suggested, just to prove that she is independent, that she is a free agent here, even if that action directly harms the entire family right away. The more you advise her, the deeper she plunges into the very mistake. The more you pull on the rope, the harder she fights to break away. This is not your fault, gentlemen. This is basic human biology at work. But to keep trying in vain forever, that is squarely your own fault. Why does this kind of behavior destroy your masculine identity over time? When you clean up other people's messes for far too long in a row, you forget that you once had your own personal road in life to travel. You have abandoned the sense of purpose that once belonged only to you. You are no longer the leader guiding your family forward through life. You are merely a satellite orbiting around the planet of your wife. Every day you spin around the latest set of crises that she creates. Money crises, friendship crises, the midlife crisis hitting in her 40s. A man with no purpose is a man with no magnetic pull on anyone around him. This is a truth that no self-help book on the market dares to print. A woman cannot desire a man who serves as the janitor of her own life. A woman cannot worship a man who is always down on his knees before her. That is the reason the bed you share with her is so painfully cold. That is the reason she turns her back to you every single night. You are being drained of your strength, your money, and your soul. The marriage has become a grinding machine crushing your masculine character, and you voluntarily place your head into that very machine every morning. So what is the solution? I am going to say it plainly. No detours. Stop being a superhero right now, because you are not a superhero, gentlemen. You cannot change a person who does not want to change in the first place. No book in the world, no therapy method, can ever accomplish that task. Your rescuing only ensures that she never has to grow up as an adult. You are nurturing weakness, instead of nurturing real, mature love. Take back your energy, your time, and your money, starting today. Use those resources to invest in your own self first, before anything else. Masculine attraction only returns when you are independent and complete. Stop begging for recognition from a person who is indifferent toward you. Now, I am going to give you a concrete action plan to put into practice. 4 specific steps for reclaiming the masculine identity you have lost. Write them down on paper. Tape that paper to your bathroom mirror. Step 1. Set up a firm and unbreakable financial firewall in your home. Stop paying for the personal mistakes that your wife continues to make. The joint account is only for joint goals that both of you agreed on. If she carries personal credit card debt, let her pay it off herself. Do not use your hard-earned retirement money to bail her out anymore. Money is blood, gentlemen. Do not let your blood pour out in vain. Step 2. Apply the principle of strategic silence in daily life. Instead of nagging or offering one piece of advice after another, close your mouth and let the events of life simply unfold on their own. Let her face the consequences of her own mistakes for the first time. This is not a punishment. This is a form of mature adult love. A person who never tastes consequence will never truly change as a person. Step 3. Reinvest in the purpose of life that you have forgotten. Dedicate at least 5 hours each week to a personal goal of your own. It might be that Harley motorcycle you once dreamed about owning. It might be the guitar covered in dust sitting inside your garage. It might be the MBA degree that you set aside back in younger years. Anything that used to make your eyes light up with real fire inside. Step 4. Hold conversations grounded entirely in facts and in data. When you discuss serious issues, set aside every personal feeling at hand. Focus only on the events, on the numbers, on the bills laid out on the table. Do not let cutting words shake your foundation in the moment, gentlemen. Do not let crocodile tears drag you back into the old vicious loop. Marriage should not be a cage that imprisons your masculine character. Marriage should be a stage where 2 human beings can both shine brightly. If you are exhausted by wearing that superhero cape every single day, if your shoulders have been weighed down by burdens that are not yours, hit the subscribe button and join our community right here, gentlemen. The place where awakened men are helping each other stand up tall again. Stop being a hero for a person who is not worthy of that heroism. Begin the work of saving your own self, starting tonight, right now. I want to leave you with one final question for the day, gentlemen. A question I want you to ask yourself in the quiet of the darkness. When your wife is already asleep, when the house has fallen into stillness, if tomorrow morning you set aside every single problem that belongs to her, if you are no longer the repairman, the cleaner, the rescuer in her life, then who is the man still standing there in that mirror in front of you? What does he still have left for himself when everything else is gone? Think about this very carefully, because the answer will define the rest of your life.